All right, let's get started. Hello, and welcome to our second Build Together session. My name is Nicola. I'm from the team here at Podia. So good to see so many of you. So good to see so many familiar names as well. Welcome back. And if it's your first time joining us for a webinar, it's great to have you. Today, we are going to set up a course and a sales page to promote that course in Podia. And courses are one of the most popular product types that we see people build at Podia. And they give you so much flexibility because you can add text and videos, audio files, embeds, quizzes, anything you want to teach your content effectively. So they can be a really great resource for pretty much anything that you want to teach. Today, we're going to look at how to set up all these options. We're going to make a course for an art business, a painting course. So we'll get to see how to add videos and images, files, all that. And we're also going to look at how you can add discussions to your courses, how you can adjust the settings to add upsells, create seat limits, start dates, access durations, drip content, all those other customizations. And you'll also get to see what your finished course will look like from a student's perspective at the end. Before you get started, I am recording this session, so you will get a replay either later today or tomorrow. As soon as Zoom finishes processing the recording. That way you can absorb all the information today and rewatch it as many times as you like in the future. If you already have a Podia account, everything you see today, you'll be able to do in the products area of your account. If you do not have an account yet, you can click the link that I will send in the replay email, and that will let you start your 30-day free trial. If you are watching this as a replay, that link is in the video description. Also, if you have any questions throughout the demo, you can ask them in the chat. There's a chat box off on the side of your screen that you should be able to see. And we also have a Q&A area where you can leave questions as well. I'll have the chat open as we go, but if I miss your question, then we'll also have some time built in at the end for Q&A. So just make sure to stick around and get everything answered. Also, I'm going to drop my email address in the chat. If you do have a question after the session, or just don't want to ask it to the whole group, you can send me a message and I will get back to you there. So that is over in the chat. Okay, so I am going to share my screen and we will start building. Let's get this all set up. Okay. Great. So can you all see my Podia dashboard? If you could just drop a yes or no in the chat, that would be amazing. Yes, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so this is the basic Podia dashboard. Right now, I've got a few things happening in mine from testing other products and community plans. Laura, so my email address should be in the webinar chat. I will paste that one more time. That should go to, there you go. So that should be now in the webinar chat to everybody. Awesome. So this is your Podia dashboard. And to set up a course, we're going to go over into this products area. This is where you're going to see a list of all the products that you have in your business. For your first time, if you're just setting up your first product, this is going to be empty. And we're going to head up here and click this new product button. So we're going to start with a course. There's lots of other product types you can make, but this is a course. And we're going to call our course Painting for Beginners. Start with confidence. You can change this name later in the product details, but just pick something for now to get you started and then click Create Product. This is going to pull you right into the course builder, and you actually won't be able to publish anything until you've added some content to your course. So it's pretty easy to make sure like you have to actually add the content to the course before you do anything else, and that's to prevent accidentally publishing an empty course. You've also got some informational boxes right here. You can see step-by-step instructions for building a course and how to edit your page. We're going to do that together on this call, so we don't need to look at that right now. So in the lesson area right here, you can either create a lesson, which is a standalone part of your course, or you can create a section, which is a grouping of lessons. So kind of like a module or a unit. If this were a textbook, it would be a unit, and then the lessons would be each individual topic. So we're going to start by creating a new section. And we're going to give our section a title. This is going to be an introductory kind of basic section about painting. And we're also going to give it a little description here. And then this right here is how you can take your course from a evergreen live course into a drip course. So in a standard, just instant access, you get the whole course program. Each section would be available immediately. That means someone buys it, they get all the sections. But if you wanted to set this up as a drip course where someone gets section one when they first buy it, and then a week later they get section two, and so on and so forth, that's what you can do here. You can add this delay. So maybe I want to give it a 3-day delay. And then I will automatically send an email notification to my customers when this new section is available. And you can customize this here as well. For this program, I'm going to do available immediately. But these delays can be really helpful if you offer a particularly dense course, and maybe it's the kind of thing you don't want someone to rush through. You really want them to take their time with the material. Or if you want it to span a certain amount of time, you can use delays to make sure that that's happening. I've got a question here. Can you set it up so that they can only get access to the next section after completing the section before? So right now we don't have that functionality built in, but using this delay is a good way to make sure you're kind of enforcing the order of the lessons, because if someone buys the program, they would only be able to see what is available immediately. So you could have it set to where, 10 days later is when they get the next section to really encourage the correct order. So I'm going to click save here. And now I've got my section here and I can add lessons within this section. So we're going to use just the basic text lesson. And I'm going to give this a title. We're going to call this lesson 1. And then I've got some copy that I put together before. So I'm going to add my text here. And what's in this course? I've got a few more bullet points I got to grab. Okay. But I also want to show you what else you can do in this text editor, because it's not just text. You can hit this slash key right here and you can pull in images, videos, files, audios, embed, buttons, lines, all kinds of features, as well as formatting. So if you want to differentiate your headings or your text size within your course lesson, you can do that. You can also add code blocks, which is helpful if you teach something in the development niche, or block quotes, ordered lists, numbered lists. You've got all those options there. So we are going to add a video to this lesson. I'm going to hit the slash key and I'm going to choose video. And I'm going to upload this video from my computer. And before we got on this call, I downloaded all my videos and I saved them with their lesson name. So you'll be able to see it says lesson 1 video. That makes it really easy for me to just stay organized and build faster, but it also helps me with using the Podia media library. Any media you upload into your course, like a video or an image, or a file, is going to be stored in your Podia media library. And you can use that other places on your site without having to re-upload it again and again. But it's going to be way easier to find it if you name it something that describes what the file is, because if it's just a long random string of numbers and characters, it's pretty much impossible to find it again. Personal experience, I've done that many times, and it's way easier if you just name your files when you upload them. I also have a thumbnail for this video. I'm going to do the same thing. I have got a lesson 1 thumbnail that I made in Canva, and this is uploading. You also have the option to add captions to your videos, and you can choose whatever language makes sense for your audience, and you can upload those as a VTT file, and you can add as many as you like. You'll just choose the language, upload the VTT file, and then do it for other languages. By default, videos in Podia are not downloadable from within the course, but because we don't want people to just, download all your stuff and take it. But if you did want to make a video downloadable for your audience for whatever reason, you can choose this button, and that will allow them to download it and watch it on their own devices and have access to it. I'll show you another use case for this on the audio section in just a minute. So I'm going to click Insert Video. And it's going to render here. This is the thumbnail I created in Canva. And then if I were to click it, it would show the video that I uploaded. So that's all for lesson 1. But I also have these settings down here. This is for each lesson. You have two options here. You have a visibility setting and a store preview setting. So visibility is just, can your customer see that this lesson exists? If it's visible, yes. If it's hidden, no, which is great if you are in progress or you're currently adding a new module and you want people to have your course, but you don't want them to see like one particular lesson. And then also you can enable a preview. So when someone's on your sales page, any lesson that has a preview enabled, someone can click in and see it even if they have not bought the course. This can be a really great way to get someone interested in your course because they can see what the interface looks like. They can get a sample of your teaching style. So for lesson one, I'm going to enable a preview. And when we set up our sales page, you'll get to see how that looks. I'm going to click save. And that's lesson one. And I see we have a question. Would you recommend adding all videos to the same lesson or doing one video per lesson in the embed link above? That is a great question. So I'm going to show you how you can add multiple videos to a lesson. I think this is best just determined by your topic. So what I would recommend is one topic per lesson, because as your student reads through it, if it's one long wall of text with lots and lots and lots of videos, it could get overwhelming. But if you break it down by topic or chapters, maybe another way to think about it, it can be more approachable for your viewer. And also, they can check off each lesson they've completed as they go, which can be really encouraging because they can see, like, oh, look, I'm making progress in my course. So I think just for organizational purposes, it's better to have. You can have as many videos as you want, but limiting the number per lesson to that specific topic. But yeah, you can add as much content as you want. So, adding a few is absolutely no problem, but just keeping it nice and organized for your course participant is the name of the game there. Awesome. Okay, so for lesson two, we're going to talk about what do you need for your painting adventure. I'm going to click in. I've got my lesson two copy. This one, I'm going to use some bulleted lists to organize my information. And I'm also, let's see, I think this one's a good one to add an image. So I'm going to hit this slash key, hello, in the chat, and I'm going to choose image. Here, you can either upload an image or you can choose one from Unsplash. So if I go to painting supplies, I can grab this image and pop it right into my course. Unsplash images are free to use, so you don't have to worry about attribution with those. I'm going to click this centered button, and then you can adjust the sizes and things like that here. I'm also going to add a file to this one. I think for something like a shopping list or supply list, it's helpful to have a PDF that the course participant can download and take with them to the store. So I'm going to add a file. And I've got this file on my computer. I have named it lesson 2 checklist. So while that's uploading, we will call this painting supplies, checklist. And you can choose if you want to show the file icon and the file size. You can toggle those on and off depending on what you prefer for your course lesson. So we'll insert that. And now someone in this course can click that link and it'll download the PDF that we uploaded, so they have that resource right there. For this one, I'm going to have this lesson visible and the store preview is disabled. I do not want anyone to preview this. This is the content they only get if they pay for the course. We're clicking save and we're moving into lesson 3. For this one, we're going to add an audio file. This lesson, is about setting up your painting space. So I've got a bit of copy to add. And now for this one, we're going to hit that slash key again, and we're going to grab an audio file. I have got this on my computer. I've saved it as an MP3, and I've named it lesson 3, so it's easy to find. And for this one, the download link can actually be really helpful for people, especially if you're providing an exclusive podcast or maybe a meditation you want people to listen to several times. It can be helpful to have the download link so they can save that audio on their device and then use it wherever out in the world they are. So that's an option there. I'm going to leave that on. I'll let people download that. So when that's enabled, your audience will see this download audio file. All right, we're going to click save, and that's all for part 1. Now we're going to set up part 2. Part two is where we actually start painting. So for this one, we're going to talk about different types of paints, and I'm going to demonstrate what we talked about a few minutes ago with adding multiple video files to the same lesson. This one, again, is going to be available immediately because this is a self-paced evergreen course. So we're clicking save. And one cool thing, as you start to build, you can actually grab these lessons and like move them around and stuff, which makes it really nice if you decide you want to change the structure of your course later. You can also move the sections around too. So makes it very easy if you get feedback from your customers that they want things in a different order. You can just drag it and hit publish. So for this one, we are going to add a lesson about acrylic paint. This makes me want to go get out some paints and have a paint party. Okay, here we go. We're gonna add a video here. I'm gonna hit the slash key, add a video. And again, we are gonna upload from the computer. This is video for part one. That's uploading now. You can upload a bunch of different file types. You've got MP4s, movies, or AVI files up to 5 gigs per video. And then you can, oops, no, we're not gonna do Unsplash for that. I have got my 4.1 cover image ready to go. The option to add captions is there if I want that. And I'm going to insert the video. And now we're going to add a second video to the same lesson. So I've got a little text separating the two. And we're going to add our second video. So I've got 4.2. Oops, upload from the computer. And we'll insert that. Okay, so I see a question. I've been using add files when I create a new lesson and then specify the MP4 video. Yeah, so that will also work. This layout, though, makes it easier for you to put the text and the video exactly where you want on the page. So you can do some text and a video, whereas that one has kind of a standard layout where it's just video at the top and text underneath. So this just gives you a little more flexibility to customize. Yeah, so that will also work though. There's quite a few ways you can go about setting this up. This is the way I prefer to do it just because it gives me a lot of flexibility within each lesson. Yeah, but that's a great point. Thank you for pointing that out, Norman. That's very true. I'm going to click save. And then we're going to add one more lesson here. And I want to show you the embed feature. So I'm going to add another text section. This one's going to be about watercolors. And the embed feature is really cool, and I think perhaps an underutilized part of Podia, where you can actually embed files and things from other sources on the web from almost 2,000 supported sources. So you can embed from YouTube, you can embed from Canva, from Airtable, spreadsheets. I've seen really cool Google Sheets spreadsheets or presentations embedded, and they'll just sit right there in your course. So it's a really cool way to give some extra creativity to your course if you need it for what you're teaching. So for this one, we're just going to do a simple YouTube video. I'm going to click here, paste my link, and that's going to pull in. This is not my video. This creator has some beginner-friendly watercolors, but if you were wanting to share some examples or share resources in your course, this can be a way to do that. We also are going to add a worksheet to this lesson. So I'm going to add, oops, there we go, to get my cursor back. I'm going to hit my slash key again, and I'm going to grab a file. Can you embed from Instagram? I believe so. Yes, I will double check that and get back to you, Helen. That's a great question, but I do believe so. You can test the embed feature if you go to iFramely. If you just type in iFramely into Google, they have a tester that will let you see if a certain URL will embed the way you expect, and that would be the best way to test that. I believe you can. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to add our lesson 5 PDF. This one we're going to call watercolor tips checklist PDF. Woo. And we will insert it. Should the text section capture the same information in the video, or is that supplementary to the video? Is this the caption? Nadine, are you referring to the caption section? Or okay, I think I understand. I'm sorry. The text here, yeah. So it really depends on your teaching style. I have seen courses both ways, and they're both very effective. For example, you can create a video, and then the text is pretty close to a mirror of what's in that video. And this approach would work well if you want to give people lots of different learning styles. Some options for how to consume your content. For example, if they're potentially really busy on the go, they don't have time to sit down and watch a video, they could read your course material. So that's an option. You can also have it as a supplementary feature. So I think this works really well if you're teaching something visual or hands-on. You would maybe include the written instructions or written content and then an example or demonstration in the video. So in the example we're building here with the course, there's a little bit of information about watercolor, maybe some checklists, and then a video shows the demonstration of how to actually do the thing you talk about in the course. So it can really be whatever makes most sense for your audience. And if you are stuck on that, I would say set it up one way, send it out to a few customers or a few prospective buyers and ask them to take a look through it and give you some feedback on it. That's always been with any course or any product I've ever made, that's been the best thing to do is just send it to a real person who like is interested in that topic and say, "Hey, what does this need? What's missing here?" And you'll get some really, really great answers that way. All right, I see another question here. Can you put in either embed or upload a Google Sheet with only download feature, not editing online, since I want to keep the original file as a template? Yes, that is an awesome question. There's a little trick you can use to do this. When you copy the share link of a Google, like a G Suite, Google Sheet, Google Doc, you can change, if you look at the URL, it'll say edit in the URL. If you change that to copy, it will force the person downloading the link to copy it instead of edit the original. So I would my explanation was probably not very great there, but if you Google how to force copy of a Google Sheet, that will have the instructions and it'll show you where in the URL to make that edit. That way you can share. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad that made sense. that way you can. That way you can share it without someone editing your original, because I totally agree. And I should have said that when we were talking about embeds, that you don't want to share your original with editing access because then everyone using it would be able to see everyone else's work. So that's a little workaround for that. And I would just I would just Google that and to make sure that that's the correct place in the URL. I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, that little trick works great. So I'm going to click save right here. Okay, so we have got our content coming together nicely here. I want to show you one other thing you can do. We are going to add a quiz. So Podia does have multiple choice quizzes, which can be super fun for helping your customers just check their knowledge, see where they're at. I'm going to add a little description here, and then we're going to add a quiz question. So for this one, we'll ask what medium is the fastest to dry if I'm going to go and want to do some painting. So we can do oil paints, watercolor, acrylic. Ooh, that is not spelled right. Acrylic, and the correct answer is acrylic. So you can set as many questions as you want, as many answers as you want. You can make multiple ones right and wrong. If you want to do true and false, you can just have one be true and one be false. And then you can have a quiz available for your customers. So we're going to set that to visible, and we'll put that one as done. Okay, so we're going to leave this as is for our course. We've got our two modules set up. And I think before we move into the next step, are there any questions with adding the actual content to the course? Got my eye on the chat. Okay, good. Oh, we've got a note in the chat that there were some issues working in Microsoft Edge, and that the quizzes will work better using Chrome. That is great to know. So if your customers do have an issue with the quiz, then Chrome is a good workaround. Thank you. It's a good note. Okay, so let's go ahead and start customizing the details, pricing, and availability for our course. So this is where you can customize your name, image, and description for your program. So I think the name is pretty good. I'm going to add a description here, And I'm going to add a featured image. I'm going to go to Unsplash. And let's see what comes up for painting supplies. Okay, I think this is going to work well with my color palette. And you do really want to fill in all these sections because everything in Podia is interconnected. So anywhere that you share a promotion for your course, it's going to pull in this title, description, and image, and all the other details as well, your pricing and availability. So when this is set up, you can share this in your blog posts, on your website, anywhere on your site, and it will automatically pull in this information so you're not copy and pasting a million times. So you also have some other options here. You can categorize your products. This is especially helpful if you teach around several topics. So if you, let's say you have painting courses and sketching courses, you would put all the painting ones in the painting category, all the sketching ones in the sketching category, and then you could make a page for each type. You can pull in like product lists with just one category. So it's helpful for organizing your work, especially as your product lineup gets bigger and bigger. It can be really helpful. Can we apply, let's see, can we apply all alt text? Yes, we can apply, you can apply alt text to images. Yes, that's true. Alt text is very helpful for making your images understandable by screen readers. So it also is, so anyone who's looking at your content who is not looking at it visually and using a screen reader, they will be able to understand what your image is because of the alt text. And alt text is also helpful for helping search engines understand what's on your page. So double win adding that. Absolutely. In your course, we also have the option to add included products. So in Podia, you can bundle products together, but that's a little bit different because a bundle shows up, all the products are equal. So it's this course and this download and this coaching session. But with the included products feature, it's going to be the course and then smaller underneath it in a bulleted list, it's going to list out all the included products. So this is nice for arranging your products if you really want to call attention to the main course, but then also include a resource for people that you think they would like. You can add it here as an included product. And this, if I just click in, you can see all the other products I have in my Podia account and their prices. So it's easy to just grab what you want. You also have the option to add a course certificate to your program. You can toggle that on and you can edit some details with that. You can change the title, what you want it to say under the title, and what your course name is. You can send out an email when someone has completed the course. You've got those options in that dashboard as well. And finally, this is the last thing we want to turn on for this course in particular. We want to add we want to add comments because this allows people to leave a note or a message or a question on each lesson in your course. We also want to turn on discussions. Discussions are a kind of a Q&A forum that exists for your whole course. It's not on a specific lesson. And I'll show you what this looks like in the student-facing view in just a minute. So you've got some options here. You can allow your customers to view comments, but not leave their own or reply, or you can hide them altogether. We're going to keep them active. And the same with the discussions. If you want to use your discussion area more as a updates board where you just post new content or updates, or maybe if you host live sessions and you want to show someone or you want to show your members when the next session is, this would not allow them to reply or make their own posts, but it would still let you have that feature. We're going to leave it on though, because I want my customers to interact with one another. I want them to be able to make their own posts and reply. Okay, so we got our settings. Now we're going to hop over to pricing. And by default, this offer is free. We're not going to make this free. You can set this as a wait list, which is great if your product is not quite finished and you want to start gathering email addresses for interested people. This is a really good way to validate your product idea too, because if you create a wait list and get tons of interest, there's probably a pretty good demand for that product. So I would say full steam ahead on making that product. You also can go ahead and set your course to paid, and you've got a few options here. You can make it a one-time payment, you can add a payment plan, and you can add a subscription. for this course, we're going to put this at $40. And if we wanted to add a payment plan, we could do like two payments of $22 to incentivize people to do the single payment if you want, or you can just make it a pure equal payment plan. You can also set up a subscription with a monthly, yearly pricing. And you can add free days if it is a subscription. So if you want someone to get to sample it before paying their subscription, you can do that too. And you can customize if you want to collect payments before or after, or collect the payment method, sorry, at the beginning or end of the trial. So for this product, this is going to be a self-paced kind of standalone simple course. So we're just going to do a simple payment of $40. You can also set your payment, your currency in your Podia account. So if you prefer euros or another currency, you can set that there. And the next thing we're going to add to this course is an upsell. And I think upsells are awesome. I highly recommend adding an upsell to your product because it's such a great way to just get more of your work into the hands of your customers. And you can do it at a time when they're so excited about your business and buying from you. So an upsell is going to be displayed right when someone buys your course. They've gone through the checkout, they're ready to go, they've pushed buy, and then this is going to be a splash page that shows all the upsells that you have listed and any discounts you have given. These discounts are only available at this exact moment. So it's an extra special incentive for people to get a little more of your work. So we're going to click here. I'm going to see all my products. Let's go. Okay, I've got this is a digital download product, how to make your own paint by number course. You can customize the name and description here if you want to make it something a little different. And I'm going to give this a 20% discount. So now when someone's going through the checkout flow, they're going to also see this as an option if they want to buy it. And they don't have to. I mean, it's fine. If they don't want to buy it, they can just continue and no problem. But this is a great way to add on a few extra dollars to each sale and increase your total order value and also help get your information out there to more people. So we'll create this upsell. Awesome. And you can add more if you want. We're just going to leave one for now. And now we're in the availability. So the status of this course is draft until we hit this publish button. Visibility refers to if it's visible on your website or not. If you have a course that's visible, everyone can find it. It's on your site. It's listed in your product pages. If you make it hidden, that is for if you wanted to make like a private product or a product that's only available by invite only. Maybe you send that link out to people. This can be helpful if you just have, if you want to have that format in your business. Access, as of right now, is open. That means anyone can sign up. You can also set it to closed, which means it's still visible on your site. People can see it, but they can't buy it. So if you're running, for example, a cohort and maybe you've closed it and you're going to reopen the doors in a few months, you can have the product exist but be closed until you're ready to reopen. You've also got a few options here with start date, sign up limits, and durations. So if you wanted to start your course in the future, you can do that here. You can grab a calendar date. We're going to let ours start immediately. You can also add seat limits. So if, for example, let's say you have a really hands-on course where it requires a lot of energy on your part, you might not want to have hundreds of people in there. That could get pretty exhausting. So maybe you cap it at 20. This can also be a tool to drive urgency for your products because as these seats get filled, on your sales page, it'll say how many seats are left. So this can be a big motivator for your buyers. If they really want something and they're watching that those seats are ticking down, this can help encourage people to go ahead and take that leap. And finally, we have access durations. This is how long will they have access to your product. So if you want to give them access to the course for 1 month, 3 months, a year, or a custom amount, you can set this using the durations. And also, if you've set your pricing to a subscription, so let's say it's $10 a month and that's the subscription price, and you give them access for 90 days, it'll automatically stop that subscription after those 90 days have passed. So that's a nice way where you can give someone like a limited membership for a temporary amount of time if that's the format you want to use. Okay, I have a question in the chat here. For the membership price, is that connected to community so they can get access to the whole community? That's a great question. So community access is a different type of product. This is just a course product that we're setting up now. So the subscription price would be for the course. This is a brand new feature. I'm so excited. It's like currently rolling out now. So if you haven't seen this in your account yet, you will see it very soon. But this is to basically give subscription access to your course. And if you wanted to set a membership price for your community, you would set that up in your products tab using a community product type. So let me go ahead and publish this course, and then I'll quickly show you what that looks like. Okay, cool. So our course is published. Really quick, we're going to go to products. To make a community plan, you would go right here. This is going to include access to the community, and you can customize if you want someone to have like access to certain channels or not. That way you can make a private community experience. So let's hop back into our course. We've got this one. And one thing I want to do before we set up our sales page and go take a look at the finished product is I want to go ahead and seed my discussion area, because I feel like if you are the first one to buy this course and then you go into the discussions and it's empty, it's kind of like, oh, I don't know what to say in here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a discussion so that new customers can join. And I'm going to say, whoops, oh my goodness, my spacing is wild. Here we go. And this is going to be the title. So I'm going to put that up here. Welcome, introduce yourself, and I'm going to publish this discussion. And now my course participants can hop in and leave you can leave reactions, you can add emoji, you can reply, so your customers can see all this stuff. Awesome. Okay. I see another question. Are you able to connect a free month of the community to a course purchase? So what you could do is you could put that together as an included product. If you have a free plan for your community, you could make the course with an included product of the free trial, or like bundle those together. So that could be a way to do that. And you could, but I think in order to have a free community plan that then turns over to a subscription, you would have to set that up separately. So you would set up your community plan with your maybe 30 days free, and then their subscription would start then. So that would be the best way to get that set up. Awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at what this course looks like on the inside. I'm going to refresh. So this is just because I am the course creator here, so it's all signed in, but this is what your audience would see. This is my title and my introduction, and here is a breakdown of everything that's within my course. So if I click into part 1, I can hop in here, I can see all my lessons, and then I can see my videos that I've uploaded. And right here, your audience can complete and move on to the next lesson. And that's going to update right here, this little completed tracker, which can be really helpful for keeping people on track with their programs. You also see this little checkbox here when someone has finished a lesson. And if you do end up with a course that's really big and has a lot of modules, which some people have some very, very in-depth courses, you can use these toggles to close that up. That way it's not as overwhelming. So here's a look through. Here's our download. We're going to set up our painting space. Here's our audio file. We've got our watercolors with our YouTube embed video. And we have our quiz right here. Now I'm going to click into discussions, and this is my welcome, introduce yourself post from earlier. So if I'm signed in as a student, I can leave a comment, I can give a reaction here, whoops. I can leave an emoji, and I can communicate with other people in my course. And then this here, so I'm back in lesson 1, this is the comments. So the comment is tied to a specific lesson, the discussions are tied to the whole course. Okay, so we're gonna hop back into the build mode, and we're gonna click these 3 dots right here. This is gonna, so just to clarify, I am back in my product, I'm in my course product. So I clicked products and I clicked edit next to my course. Now I'm clicking the three dots here, and we're going to edit sales page. And I do see a few questions. Yes. So the community, what does the community actually include? The community area in your Podia account is a space where anyone who is a member of the community can connect with each other. So they can leave posts, they can leave comments on each other's posts, you can create posts. And you can also create topics, which are like channels. So if you have, for example, you might have an announcements channel, a build together channel, random fun stories channel. It's basically a space where people in your niche can get together and connect. Okay, let's hop into our sales page really quick, and then we'll come back to some more questions at the end. You guys have some great questions. So this is the Podia website builder. This is the basic template that you get when you create any product. This was auto-generated by Podia. I did not set this up beforehand. This is just taking it took my description, my title, and all my course details and my image. So to edit this, I can click into the sidebar and I can customize some details here. I can add a custom description. I can change what's visible. So if I want to hide the price or the description, any of these elements, you can toggle them on and off. And then we can go into the design section and make some customizations to the look of this part. So I think I'm going to, I think I liked it better over here. We can add a background color. We can make this a card. I think I quite like that. And I want to add a background image to this section because it's a painting course. So I feel like we could do something cool with a maybe watercolor paint look. I clicked on Unsplash. I'm going to go watercolor. Ooh, yes, I really like these. I like this purple one. So I'm going to turn down the opacity a bit and I'm going to turn off the grayscale. And now I've got kind of this blue watercolory background behind my text. I want to make sure that it's easy to read my text, but I do like that effect for a painting course. Okay, cool. That looks fun. Then you can click this plus sign to add any other details you want to your sales page. So you can click in to add FAQs like this. And then you can go through and fill in, oops, where did it go? Didn't fill in my FAQs. Let's go over here. Do this one. There we go. Awesome. So then this is going to go in. You can customize all the FAQs here. You can change the design like we did on this one with the background image. I'm going to delete that for now. For this course, I think because it's a visual course like painting, it is really helpful to have an intro video. So I'm going to add a video section. And I want a big video. And I think that video that I shared in lesson 1 would work really well here. So this is another cool thing with having all your media interconnected in the media library. Instead of uploading from my computer, I'm going to select choose media and I'm going to type lesson 1. And now I can grab my lesson 1 video that I uploaded just a few minutes ago. And same thing with the thumbnail. I can choose my, lesson 1 media, and I can upload it. And now when I refresh, that's going to be visible right on my page right here. So I think that can be a great way to add a little kick to your sales page by showing people what they get when they first join. All right, so Podia also comes with this really cool table of content section. This is auto-generated based on what you have in your course. You can get rid of it if you don't want to have this, but you can also customize the way it looks with some toggles or section descriptions and icons. So for this one, let's give this a dark background color, and we're going to put cards for each of the sections. I think that is a really nice way to show someone what's in the course. And then someone who's interested in buying the course can click this preview button to see that first lesson. And that's what we set up in lesson 1 where we enabled the preview. That's how it'll look for your students. So let's go ahead and delete this one. And this one, I'm going to click on the design tab. I'm going to scooch it down a little bit. And let's add a little bit of body copy here. So we have our video up top, but we still have a text section below. So I've got some text there. And then we can go into this design setting at the top. This is going to impact how everything looks on your page. So you can change your site-wide colors. We have a bunch of presets loaded up here. So you can choose from one of these, or you can make your own. You can go through and customize each individual color. You can also customize the fonts. So if you wanted a more bubbly or more formal, you've got those options. I do see a question about the width percentage setting. That is a great point. So you can change the structure of your website site-wide here in the design tab. And I'll show you what this is going to do if I scoot it in or out. The defaults are pretty standard for most websites. So I usually leave them for the majority of sections. But for this one, I think it looked a little wide. The video looked a little wide. So this is adjusting the video width and this is adjusting the section width. So if I pull in the width of the section, you can see the text is going with the video. That's going to make the whole section a lot smaller. This is a bit personal preference, and readability wise, you don't want your text to be super long across the page just because someone's going to be sitting there reading with their head like they're watching a tennis match, I think. So you do want to keep it a little bit tighter, but the defaults in Podia are really solid for that and are going to look pretty good. You just might make a section from time to time that you think, this looks a little wide. So you can nudge them in a little bit there. Okay, so I'm going to click, let's see, that white on the dark is a little bit more of a change. I'm going to put that, yeah, I think the light blue looks good. And then for this one, ooh, that is way too blue. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's go up a bit. Okay, well, now this is just that's not the way. See, this is also the fun part of design where you just try stuff out and you're like, oh no, this is not what I should have done. All right, let's click publish, come out of experiment mode. And this is how our sales page is going to look. And so here, this is just a bit of a style choice to keep this video tucked in a little more so that it's not so giant on the page. And we've got our contents. And as you scroll, this is also a nice little feature. You can enable or disable this in your Podia site, but I think it's really cool to keep it on. This is sticky on the page. So as someone scrolls down the page, this buy now button is always there at the top. Okay, so this is, again, the finished product with our course, and you can see inside how the images and videos look. So I would love to turn it over to you guys for some questions and see what other things you're wondering about with Podia. Let's see, could I set a start date sooner for the access to discussions with the lesson A? Lesson one would start 40 days after. Oh, okay. That's a great point. So Catherine just shared a really cool idea. Let me hop in and show you how this would work. So Catherine, I think what you're describing is using the delay. So in this course, let me go into edit. Okay, so this section would be available right away. So someone buys it and they could access this section, and then they could leave comments on this section and potentially, I believe, the discussions as well. And then part two, whatever's next, you could set the delay to be 40 days from now. The one thing with that is the delay is going to be based on the day they signed up, not a date. So if you wanted to set, let me hop in here really quick and I'll show you. If I edit this section, so it's a day delay, and that is custom to each person. So if I sign up on July 15th, then I would get access on 30 days from that date. So that's just something to keep in mind, but that could work if you wanted to give everyone access early. What you could also do is set up the course with just the intro lesson, and all your other lessons and sections could be set to hidden until the day you want to turn them live. So if they are, I'll just close this for now. Like if I go into this lesson here, I can set that as hidden, which means customers can't view it. So it exists. You can go ahead and build it, but it won't show up in the finished course. And hi, quick question. If I already have a sales page on my existing WordPress site, is there a way to connect it to Podia products and courses? Like, can I link or embed something so people can purchase directly without rebuilding the whole page on Podia? Yeah, awesome. So what you can do, you can, doo, 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 doo. Let's go to this course. There's share product. There was a, no, I'm getting all lost. Let's see. Yes, there is a way to do that. There is a checkout link you can share. Yeah, here we go. So if you click share product, you can share the landing page or you can just share the checkout link. So if you already have a website that you're happy with, you could add a button to that website and then paste this link. This link is going to go directly to checkout. I'll show you in a new tab. Now this is just going to take them directly to the cart. And then they can purchase right there. Yeah. So you can definitely do that. And let me look here. How do you get that pay now button at the top of the sales page? That is a great question. That is automatically put at the top of sales pages in Podia. You can turn it off if you wanted to disable that. I clicked over here into the website builder. I'm going to click on my home page and then I'm going to hop all the way down here to these site settings. And it's right here at the bottom. I almost wonder if you can see it on my screen because it's so close to the bottom. But this is the sticky product banner. This is going to be on all your product pages. So turn on and off. If yours has accidentally gotten turned off, then you can turn it back on and you will see those sticky product banners. Is there a spot to put a pay now button at the end of the sales page? Awesome question. Yes, absolutely. Let's go back over to our Paint for Beginners. So if you wanted to put a buy now button at the bottom of the sales page, you're going to click this plus sign, and then this banner option gives you a few different layouts. Let's just do this one. And now the buy now button is right there, and you can change this design however you like if you wanted to have it be a smaller image this time. And this is automatically connected to your checkout for you, so you don't have to worry about connecting that. Awesome. Okay. Any other questions? We got about 5 more minutes in the session for questions. All right. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. This was so much fun. Bye. Thank you.